The one part of the island I never spent much time.
There's...
You know...
Yes.
Yeah, I always found...
He wasn't a...
memory...
I only knew Greg briefly, from the summer that I took over the campsite and he retired. He seemed harmless enough, if a bit... As part of his official handover process, he gave me a big box of rule books that I was apparently supposed to give... I couldn't believe them. The amount of inches apart each tent had to be, the angle of pitch, permitted colours of guy ropes. No skipping ropes, marbles, conkers or throwing games. No singing with hand drums. I built a huge fire on the beach, invited the whole site for a big party and burned the lot. Then, awkward, Greg showed up. I guess he'd been collecting some things from his caravan and came to see what the noise was all about. You could tell he must have noticed what we were burning, but he never mentioned it. That was the last time I saw him.
Well, that's a good...
What's this about dogs having to be on leash?
My whole life I've dreamed of seeing a Jempson's sea owl. One day, I read the news that a guy on this little island called Shelmerston had discovered one. The only B&B on the island booked up really fast, so I decided to stay at the temporary campsite set up by the guy who discovered the sea owl, Greg Litherland. Greg had given the owl a name, David Abrahams. A bit weird, but I guess he was the one who found it. And because I got to know Greg a bit during my stay, he really seemed to resent all the noise and fuss on the island. His island, as he thought of it. Greg told us he'd take us up in groups to the owl's nest site, but I snuck up early with my camera. It saw me and it flew off hooting, and I had to make do with a picture of the model. It wasn't the same.
All right.
I love camping. We've come to Shelmerston every summer with the kids for years. Okay, our tent is a bit bright. Greg seemed angry about everything this year. He told us our tent was outside of the regulation colours. And being around the kids... One day, Greg confiscated my little one's kite. He was terrifying. We still sometimes get nightmares. When I saw Greg put the whistle down, I pinched it and took out the pea. You know, the thing that makes the noise. I threw that pea somewhere Greg would never find it. You should have seen his face when he blew his whistle and nothing happened.
Ayo.
Miles and I came to Shelmerston for the Sheller Cup final. Miles was the world champion for ages. Miles was up early every morning training for the big race. Greg would always be lurking. It became rather annoying. How many photos did he need? Oh God, and one time race day arrives and Greg is there with his camera, of course, getting in everyone's way. So Greg leans out and Miles goes crashing right into Greg. Total disaster. Miles goes down and Quasi flies. Later that night, all us Shellers were on our way back from the pub and we heard Greg outside his caravan, just sat by him. So then Greg came back and hung out with us, brought his camera and showed us all his Sheller race photos. You know, that guy was...
Shellers.
My best thing is throwing discs. I'm really good. I like playing with Dan and Todd. It's our favourite thing. One time, Greg Cliffland came up the beach, all red-faced like an angry tomato. He pointed at us. He told me to give him my disc, but I wouldn't. I threw it and it went bang into a massive bird. Then the bird fell into the sea. I felt so awful. I never meant to hurt the birds. The whole thing, Mr. Liffeland was screaming. He waded into the sea, picked up that bird and carried it back to the beach.
Oh, great. Greg! Oh, hello.
Morris! What are you...
Hi, Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
Oh.
Mime.
You?
Well, now hold on.
Oh, isn't it?
No.
No.
Fine. Thanks.
Thanks, Greg.
It's not looking good, is it, old girl?
Don't worry, Morris.
He's waiting for David.
Yes, the...
Really?
No, they...
Hey, Sparky,
Well, no...
Aggie sent you?
No time to explain, Morris.
Well, how it...
So am I.
Ah, Sam,